to come and talk to you guys a little bit about what I'm doing with my team. So, for those of you that don't know me, I have been back in the industry for about 8.5 years. About 2 years ago, I was given the opportunity to lead the Keller Williams Miami Lakes office. So I came out of production to be able to do that. And then now I'm back in production now. So I've been back in production since the beginning of October. And we have picked up 3 listings, and all 3 are already gone, and did 4 buyers just this month that'll all be closing now in November. Um, Now for listings, I'm having my team obviously go out and do I have access to share my screen?
Let me give you, hold on. Beta.
So obviously, database is key. That is the number one thing. But as far as, let me see.
See if it works.
Yep, it does. So
Okay.
as far as going out and getting listings, what I'm having my agents do, obviously, in all the offices, we have the for sale by owner, the expired listing. And my team members are no different than a lot of other agents. And they're like, ugh, by the time I call them, I'm getting 5 people that say, oh, they've already talked to a realtor. So I had to come up with creative ways of helping them get listings and not feeling that way. So you see this little cool tool we have right here from, and this has been a gold mine for us once it opens up, and it is free if you're a Miami Association of Realtors member. And I'm going to show you how we have been using this to pick up more listings. Obviously, we all know that unfortunately during COVID, a lot of people were not able to pay their homes. Even before COVID, there was still a lot of opportunity there. So the way that we're using this, I have them run a search in the area around their home or an area where they have a buyer. So for those of you that are being challenged trying to find properties for your buyers because the inventory is so low, go out and get inventory for yourself. So I don't know, give me a zip code that you guys are looking in.
33176.
There we go. So the map will pull in the area, and then all you have to do is, I already have distressed sales already selected. Let me take this off. So distressed sales. So right here on the left, you guys are going to see you can do sell score, high, medium, or low. This is what is the, how likely are they to sell now. My favorite though is the distressed sales. So I always click on list pendants and notice of default. Do all of you know what distressed sales means? So for those of you that don't, distressed sales is just those properties where maybe the owner hasn't paid their mortgage. So the bank is obligated to file a lien on their property, letting them know that it's a lis pendant, it's a lien pending. And then the notice of default is when they actually get the foreclosure already, the foreclosure complaint. So if I go into that zip code that you guys gave me, as I zoom in, you will see these properties change. So if you have a specific area that you're looking in, you'll see there the properties that are and then you click on it. It's going to open up another tab. And there's different strategies. This is just one that's working really well for us right now. Let me move you guys down here so I can actually see. So you will have, this is the last time, like for instance, this one is actually active right now. If we were to pick one that was not active, you would see what the, let's say Zillow sales price would be. You'd always have to do your own CMA. But here on the right, you'll see associated people. And it's going to take you to the bottom, and anybody that's associated with that property would show up here. This one's on the market, so you're not going to get enough. Let me pull one that's not. Let me zoom out of this. So this one's off market. I don't want to do that. Then this a little bit more complicated. Okay. And I like for you guys to always use, this is what I tell my team members. I want you to use stuff that's free first. If we need to go out and then send letters to a neighborhood, we can do that. Or if, we need to do a marketing campaign, we can do that. But I want you to start with the free stuff. So I'm having them go through here. And then when you hit on associated people here, you see on the left-hand side, sell score is low, even though they do have a list pendants on it. And the list pendants was filed, you'll see right here in the middle, on August 24th. It'll tell you what they think the value is, and it's going to tell you how much equity. So somebody like this, I would definitely reach out to because they have a lot of equity. They can get themselves out of foreclosure very easily. And then again, if we do associated people, you're going to see anyone that's been associated with this property. It's owned by, you see it right here on the left, Santos Texidor, who's a 73 for 7.3 years. We don't have his phone number, but we have people that are associated. So as long as it doesn't say do not call, I go ahead and call them. So tip, do not tell them that you know they're in foreclosure. I do not say that. What I have my agents doing is calling them and letting them know, look, we have a buyer looking in the area. I don't know if maybe you or one of your neighbors has mentioned that they may be interested in selling. Did you know that interest rates are the lowest they've ever been? Which means we're getting the most that we can out of properties right now. So if ever was a time to sell, it would be now. Have you ever thought about selling your home? Probably they're going to tell you no. Okay, if you ever thought about selling your home, where would you move to? And then I start going through those pre-qualifying questions to seeing if I can get them to find motivation. I'm trying to find the motivation to get them to sell. Nowhere in that conversation do I mention foreclosure or I know you've got a list pendants until they mention it. Oh, actually, I haven't been able to pay my mortgage. Oh, wow. I would love to be able to help you with that. Well, how can you help me? Very easily. Right now, I don't know how much equity you have, but if you have enough equity, you'd be able to get out of that home, collect that equity, get yourself out of foreclosure where it's not going to hurt your credit. If we get you out early enough, you're going to have an opportunity to save your credit and maybe move you into something a little bit smaller. Or maybe move you into a rental. But we don't want them to get to the full-blown foreclosure process. So that's one thing. The other thing is just picking an area and doing circle prospecting. So for those of you that can't find a buyer, listen, I have a buyer looking in the area. Do you know if you or any one of your, so the same script I just gave you, I'd use that with a circle prospect as well. So that's a quick way of being able to find inventory where there isn't any, and get that listing. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Very, very interesting.
Yes. And I love to use the free tools that the association and the office have, because really that's where you're getting the value out of, being with a company like KW. Like you get the expired leads, the FSBO leads, for sale by owner leads, but you also get circle prospecting. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of circle prospecting in maybe a community where there's a lot of renters, and ask them, for those of you looking for buyers, ask them if they have ever thought about buying. Well, how can I help you get to that next level? And maybe they're not buying right now, but when they get out of their lease, they'll remember you. And always, always, always keep them, like Jean was saying, in that database and doing your 33 touch. That's a big deal. As far as getting offers accepted is having the buyer. What we're doing is we're making sure that all our buyers are completely pre-approved. So they've already gone through all the underwriting and it's literally a, for the address, we put TBD, which is to be determined. So we're going in just as strong as a cash buyer and closing in 14 to 21 days.
Wow, that's soon.
Yeah. That's the only way we can compete with the market that we're
I'm
in.
having a hard time hearing, so I don't know if it's me or you.
Oh, sorry. Are you guys having a hard time too?
No.
No, sounds fine.
I think it's
So,
me.
oh, sorry, Eva. So, because there's so many buyers out there offering 15, 20, $25,000 over offer of over asking price, sometimes your buyers don't have that kind of money. So, how do you compete with that when they don't have that kind of money? The only thing that can compete with that is closing soon. So if you have your mortgage broker, have them go completely through underwriting, and then you can present an offer and say, you know, we can close in 14 to 21 days, just as if it were cash. My buyer doesn't have 10 or $15,000, but they do have the ability to close quickly because they've already gone through the underwriting process.
How are you approaching the for sale by owners?
So for sale by owners, they are selling so fast that you really have to be extra creative with them. Um, I don't suggest in the market that we're in to do what I did years ago, which is I used to host free open houses for sale by owners, and I would tell them if the buyer comes in off the street, I'll give them back to you. But if not, then obviously those are all my leads. And if they don't buy your property, then I'll use those leads to help them find other properties. And at that point, I always ended up with the listing. In this market where there is no inventory, I do not suggest we do that just because you're gonna lose out on commission. If your buyer finds a for sale by owner, what I have done is sometimes they find their own for sale by owners, but they have no idea what they're doing to get them to contract, and neither does the seller. So most of these for sale by owners have no idea. So I charge my buyer the commission. I tell my buyer, I will certainly help you. However, I need to get paid for my services. And you do want someone that knows what they're doing handling this transaction for you, correct? So I'm using a tie down. And they tell you yes. Okay, my normal commission is 6%, which usually gets paid by the seller, 3% and 3%. So because I'm representing you in this transaction, I will do it for the 3%. So I will send them a buyer broker agreement that states that they will be paying me my commission at the closing.
So the commission in that particular case would be paid by the buyer instead of the seller.
Correct.
Got it.
Every day in commercial deals, just so you know.
Okay.
It is exclusive to residential that we always get paid by the seller. And I would tell my buyers, I've also done it when we've done auctions. So sometimes the auction companies pay you only 1% if the buyer pays. So I would tell my buyers, listen, my normal fee is 3% minimum. So this auction is only paying 1% commission. So I can definitely help you with the sale. However, I will need to collect my entire fee. If you've gained that trust with them, they're going to have no issues. I've had it done multiple times. I'm doing a for sale by owner now, and I charged him my full 3% commission. So he's got a commission agreement with me that gets sent with the contract to the attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to have to get creative. So the agents that are going to end up with those deals and with the majority of the contracts are going to be the ones that have the skills. And you guys are in the right place for that, because you're going to learn all the tips and strategies that the top agents, not only within our office, but in addition, all over the country are doing to get those deals done.
Are we allowed to negotiate a 3% with a FSBO if we bring him is Keller Williams allowing us to do that? As far as, if we only take like a 3% commission, is that acceptable to the company?
It's your part of the transaction, yeah.
Okay. Well, my question would be if, for instance, you had a buyer, and you could get only 3% from the for sale by owner, as opposed to charging the buyer for the commission.
So here's the thing. Commission is always, it's your business, right? So what you charge commission. However, I will tell you this, as far as the company, no, it's not an issue. Commission is always negotiable. However, I will tell you this. You need to show your value.
Yeah.
So don't start negotiating your commission down from, from the first moment. But definitely, try for the 6%. If it doesn't work, then you can always bring yourself down. The company wants you to do as many deals as possible. Obviously, we don't want to be known as a discount broker where we're charging, just 1% on every single deal. Obviously.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I would not allow
that's
my
why
buyer's agents to go out there and negotiate 1%. I want them to be able to get paid. It's a lot of work.
yeah, that's why I had the question about the 3%. I didn't know that that was allowed. I thought that, we had to do 6% regardless.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I've done listings for 7%.
Oh, that's better.
So I did a listing. Yep, I did a listing for a condo that was it was in a 55 plus community, and we had 17 other condos in same condition as ours, and the condo was paid off. So I told my seller when I came in to do the listing presentation, I said to my seller, I said, let me ask you something. For how many months do you want to continue paying the monthly fee? He goes, what do you mean, Marietta? And I said, yeah, how many more months would you like to continue paying? He goes, none. I go, okay, then let's do the right thing. Let's list it at 7% so that we can get enough buyers agents interested so we can get it sold. We had ours sold within the first 15 days because I offered more commission.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, if you're looking for a buyer and you see one listing at 2.5, which is where everybody else was at that point, and you see one offering you 3.5, which is the first one that you're gonna go show?
3.5.
3.5.
Right? And which is the one that you're gonna push to your buyer the most? The 3.5. You always want to get that extra little bit. So commission is always negotiable. And hopefully you'll always negotiate up.
So how do you stay away for instance, when you're calling the for sale by owners, how do you make sure that you're not calling somebody who, let's say, for instance, might be in the new do not call list? Do you check their numbers before you call, or do you just call and say, hey, I might have a buyer for your place?
No, I do. So a for sale by owner that put their phone as no realtors, I will call them because they put their phone number out there. They're actually soliciting phone calls.
Okay.
However, if they put on their no realtors and they're on that do not call list, I do not call them. However, if they put their phone number out there and they did not put no realtors, to me that is open for us calling them.
Got it. Okay. Any other good techniques?
Yeah. So
I've given you all my secrets. And listen, I'm open to sharing anything that we're doing that's working with us. That's the great thing about Keller Williams. I may talk to the same seller that you may talk to, and maybe.
Oops.
uh-oh, did we lose her? You know what? When she was sharing her screen, I noticed she had like 7%. So she probably her screen died. So
Computer.
yeah, she might be coming because I think she's just down the hallway from me actually. There you are.
So I died.
You're yeah, you could go and here. Sit there.
So my computer died, guys. Sorry. So we may talk to the same person, and maybe you have a connection with them and I don't. And you'll end up getting that seller. I don't feel like we need to restrict ourselves as far as giving information or giving our tips and strategies, because listen, we're all going to talk to different people and there's enough business for everybody.
Yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you, what is your, if you can give us like, what is your team, what's their schedule look like? What's their time blocking for lead generation? Like, what is it that you guys do?
I love that question. Okay. So for my team schedule is 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning. We're all script and role playing, whether it's on the phone or it's in the office. Then from 9:30 to 11:30, everybody is hitting the phones. If they do not get an appointment, they go to lunch, they go back on the phones. If they get an appointment, obviously, then we go on the appointments. Once a week, we do have our team meeting where we, strategize, figure out what's working, what's not, who do we have under contract, who do we need to maybe, nudge to get them to, get off the fence if it's a buyer, if it's a seller, and just strategies.
Okay. And are you, now that a little bit more people are doing open houses, have you been doing open houses? Have you done, you're doing virtually or what? Or
so we have been blessed and we've been selling them the minute they go on. So we haven't had to do open houses. Okay. I love open houses though. They're such a great source of leads.
So one of the things that I heard in one of the different webinars that I've attended is that because you get that house under contract so quickly, do you use, like, for example, let's say you got like, I don't know how many offers, 10, 15 offers in one place. Oh. Do you use that to go circle prospecting and letting other people know, hey, we got, this went on the contract in 24 hours. We have about 15 offers, so we have more buyers.
Absolutely. Not only do we get on the phone and we call them, we also door knock them and let them know, we got this many offers. Do you have anybody that you know in the neighborhood that maybe have told you that they want to sell? Have you thought yourself, look, we know we can get this much because these are the offers that we've gotten. And I will literally make a copy of the offers and I will just black off the buyers' names.
Okay.
And good. walk the neighborhood with the offers in hand.
All right. So I've been the one asking the questions. So what do you guys want to know? What do you guys want to ask her? Whether you just got your license or you've been doing this for a while. Questions. Don't make me look bad.
They ask questions.
All right, so I guess I'll go first then. Oh, you have a question on, is that?
Just says, make yourself available to those buyers from open houses to show them as soon as possible after the open house. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Gene.
So my question is it not advisable, or would it be lying if you called people and told them that you had a prospective buyer and you actually don't have one, just to open up a conversation with the people that you're calling on the phone? If you're just trying to get leads and you're on the phone calling and you're telling these people, hey, I have a prospect, a buyer who's looking in your area, what are your feelings on that?
Okay, so let's change that script a little bit. Just right now with the market, everybody knows that there's not enough inventory. So you can absolutely say our office has a plethora of buyers looking in your neighborhood right now, and I'm looking for inventory to sell to them. So how can I help you get the best price for your property right now? What are you looking? What's your motivation to move? Is there a motivation to move? Our office, guys, we're part of a huge office here. And we've got over 200 agents that are all looking for buyers right now. And there's no inventory. Not only that, you've got how many offices in the area? They've all got agents. So are we lying? No, there is a plethora of buyers out there looking for property and there's not enough properties.
Yeah. True that. And then the other thing is also posting. How do you use social media to attract, whether it's buyers or sellers?
I'm using designs a lot and posting. So there's something in designs where you tell them what's happening in the area. So I believe it's called neighborhood value or neighborhood.
Is that the one with the little cartoon one?
No,
Okay.
so that's the video.
Okay.
There's one that has you can put a picture of a neighborhood and then you can pull from KWLS exactly what's happening in that neighborhood. So what's the average list price? What's the average sales price? How many homes went pending? I'll send it to you and you can send them so I can show them the graphic.
Okay.
I post that and say like, West Kendall is hot right now. Who do you know that wants to sell? We can get you the best price. DM me for more information.
Okay.
And I definitely put DM me because there's so many realtors on my feed that I tell them direct message me so that somebody else doesn't pick up that lead, obviously.
Oh yeah, that happens. All right. Anybody else? Questions? Some people here.
Yeah, this is David. Sorry, I'm driving. The first application, if we can call that you use at the beginning of the presentation, what is the name?
It is called
Reminde.
Reminde. It's
Reminde.
Reminde.
You're driving, okay. So but it's right. It's on the realtor site.
Yeah, it's on Miami Association of Realtors.
Okay, thank you.
It's Reminde.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of tutorials on it. I've already seen like 2 of them put on by the Miami Association on how to use Reminde, and there's a couple other ones on prospecting as well. So you can actually go on YouTube and Google or search up the Miami Association. And they have videos on how to prospect and what programs within the association that are free to us because we pay our fees, and how to use those to prospect. And Reminde was one of them, yeah.
Marietta, and you said that you script practice and role play from 8:30 to 9:30.
Yes, ma'am.
An hour.
Yes, ma'am.
An hour?
Yes,
why?
An hour.
Why?
So let me ask you, professional football players, professional baseball players, any team sport, how long do they practice for?
For many hours.
3 to 4 hours minimum.
Right, a day, correct? And they have 1 game a week or maybe 2 games a week. So is there any cap on the income that you make in real estate? No, right? There's no cap. So you guys are highly paid individuals. So why are we not script practicing and role playing so we don't end up practicing on our clients? So I want to make sure when they pick up the phone and they call, so let's suppose today we're calling all the expireds. So I want to make sure that we script practice that presentation that they're going to do on the phone, or that script they're going to use on the phone right before we hit the phones. And then, so we do scripts for 30 minutes and we do objection handling for 30 minutes.
Okay.
So what are the objections we're going to get? Okay, let's role play that. So I want them to get on the phone feeling very confident, but there's nothing that's going to be thrown at them without them knowing what to say.
Right. And I know that Maria has been role playing, script practicing with another agent in the office. She'll jump into our morning script practice at 8:30 in the morning. So I do the 8:30 to 9 o'clock. So you guys.
I'm sorry I wasn't there this week, but I'm gonna catch up next week.
Anyways, but I know that you're also role playing with another agent. So I really, I mean, an hour.
It's nice. I'll be honest with you. It's nice to jump into your role playing with the group because yes, I know this other agent. We've been doing this for a while and we get comfortable, but it's nice to hear other people's opinions, objections, their advice, their recommendations. So I'm gonna be there next week.
Yes.
I promise, except for Thursday, but I will be there.
So it is super important, and we see, and I have seen it. The more we do that, the better we get. I'll throw out an objection, and 2 or 3 people will say what they would say, right? And it's grabbing from the different things that we've talked to. It's not perfect, but it's better than you going, okay, no, never mind, blunk, and you hung up, and there's $10,000 just down the drain.
100%.
Literally, like so.
Literally.
Uh, anyways, anything else? Any questions that come up from what we're discussing? And let me see. I'm trying to think of what people's occupations were that might have. Well, I know that Jean owns an ice cream place.
Oh,
Hagen
cool.
does. So
Awesome.
do your employees have a script, Jean?
They actually have sales goals. I have before I got into Haagen-Dazs, I sold insurance for 8 years. I was an agent for State Farm.
That's very
So being an agent, working on commission base, also you had to meet goals. And I've always taught my kids. These are my kids. I mean, they're high schoolers and they're just getting into college and stuff like that. So I've always had the philosophy of trying to, I guess, prepare them for the real world. And I always gave them goals. Due to COVID, we're slow. So I haven't been able to offer, these additional incentives. But I gave them incentives for them to be able to upsell. Just like anywhere else, you want to try to get as much money as you can for whoever walks in through the door. So they would upsell, cones. They would upsell additional scoops ice cream. They would upsell the toppings,
That's
the
all.
higher priced items like the Dazzlers and the shakes and stuff like that. And if they met their goals, they got cash incentives,
Right.
so that, prepares them. It's like, and what I told them about objectives, and it's easy, when people say no, well, they're not saying no to you. Don't feel bad about it. They're not saying no to you. What they're saying no to is the idea of what you're presenting to them, so if you follow that route, you don't feel bad about the objective because they're not putting you down. They're just not liking the idea that you're presenting.
And really, thank you for that. The more you relate with people, so right, the more you get them into conversations, the questions, have a few questions that you can always ask. And one of the things today, I was following up on a Facebook lead, and she was nice. She was like, yeah, I don't remember that house. And when I told her the address, she's like, no, I'm not looking in that area. I'm looking in another area. Perfect. And why is that area? What are you looking for in that area? And she just kept talking to me. And I was like, okay, great. She hasn't met with a lender yet. She does. So I just had certain things that when you're working with a buyer, you need to know, by the guy, all of you guys. And we have that. For example, if you took Ignite or you have your Ignite binder, we have the buyer questionnaire, the pre-qualification. When you go to the sellers week, we have the pre-qualification for the sellers. And it's just getting the more information you have. This is from Chris, the guy from the FBI, no, the negotiator. What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember right now, but I know who you're talking about.
Chris Voss.
Chris Voss, yes. And that's it. He goes, the more information you have, the more you can go back on them and saying, well, you told me this, or and as if I hear this correctly, this is what you're looking for. And wouldn't it be great to be there as soon as possible? Little tie downs, whatever. So all those things we actually practice in the morning. We practice the tie down, we practice the listing presentation, we go over scripts. And the best scripts to go over is whoever you're calling that day. Even if it's like care calls, okay, what are you gonna say? One of the things that, and I read this somewhere, the hesitation is because we don't know what to say. or we don't know what to offer, or we don't, you know. So by going and masterminding with other agents, we can always say, well, I'm calling on this. And that other agent might go, oh my God, I never thought about that. So there is an opportunity to grow. Any last parting words?
No, listen, thank you guys for allowing me to share. Thank you for your time and your participation. And nothing, I look forward to seeing you guys around the office.
Yes. So one of the things next week, we have the inspirational brunch, or not brunch, lunch. Yeah, like I always call it, used to be brunch. But anyways, so if you guys haven't RSVP'd for that, do so. I have a very special friend of mine that's going to be speaking, I think at 11 something. Her name is Betsy Guerra. And I really, she's phenomenal. So I really, and by the way, Jean, she's from Puerto Rico. Anyways, and I really, it's just a very special event. It's a little different. I know because of Zoom, and, you know, we're doing it here and in different rooms. So if you want to come in, you can. We'll be in different rooms. And then there's going to be a food truck that will be, you know, we can go and get our food there. So please, you know, RSVP, because I think we have like 50 something people. And we'll be getting, you know, different people that will be speaking. So I really honestly would love to see all of you guys there. If you can't make it in because of kids or work or whatever, at least join us from via Zoom. If not, come on in and we'll have different places. So if you're afraid of being around a lot of people, we'll stick you in a corner somewhere with a mask.
And I'll be here, so I look forward to meeting you guys.
Yes, Marietta will be here. So thank you so much again for this. I know we're a little early, we end up 2. There's opportunities everywhere, guys. So just talk to people, you know, get into conversation. If you know, refinancing is a big deal right now. Find out if they're looking to refinance. And that way you find out if they own a place or if they don't own a place. If they don't own a place, then you can say, hey, have you thought of buying? You know, it's like Marietta said in one of her scripts, we're in historic low times with interest rates. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I will be doing my goal setting retreat with my husband, and it's a couples goal setting retreat. So pray for us that we don't kill each other. And he wants to not be so restrictive. So it's plan your year. Have you guys already planned your year in your team? Yeah, plan your year, because you need to know what is it that you want to achieve next year and what are the action steps to do it, because it's not just putting the goal there. Nope. You need to have a relationship with those goals. So, which, by the way, Jean, I sent you the recording for the business planning class that we had. All right. So you guys, thank you so much for your time, for showing up. And if you need me or anything, I will be available via text. Thank you, Marietta, for being here. My pleasure. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Eva.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too.